great to see Paige again on the lead card after getting third at Champions Cup 2 weeks ago. She's looking really strong and confident out there. I would say especially on the putting green. Paige is really making some clutch putts when it counts, and she's really staying in it, focusing mentally on that grueling back nine at Shelton. She was one down in round 2 and has a couple strokes going into Championship Sunday.
Hanna Huynh really started playing a lot better at the end of last year, and she has a tendency to really heat up as the season goes on, but she started hot this year, already having 3 top 10 finishes, 1 at a major. She's a Spokane local that is really good at woods golf, especially familiar with the Pacific Northwest conditions, and I think she's looking really comfortable out here. If she can keep dunking putts from circle 1 and 2 like we see her all the time, I think we could see Hanna Huynh with a really great finish this week.
I think Missy Gannon has a choice to make as far as how aggressive she needs to be. I don't know if playing safe is necessarily going to guarantee you the victory. We haven't seen anyone come out here shoot incredibly hot. 3 down is good, but I think if anyone goes out there and gets aggressive and gets a 5 or 6 down, the victory's theirs for the taking.
The shots that we're having to shape out here at this course are Rebecca's bread and butter. Today we saw her start out 4 for 4, and I think we could see her continue to just string together birdies out here with her beautiful backhands. She did get a little shaky on the putting green, but it wasn't far off, and we have seen her putting really well the rest of the year this year. I think she'll be able to shake the nerves tomorrow, and I think we're going to see Rebecca really push for the win. Hello and welcome to Discraft's Cascade Challenge here in Shelton, Washington at Shelton Springs Disc Golf Course, the 6th event of the year. We're here on Championship Sunday, and it is a beautiful sunshiny day. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the 2 hot geese.
Honk.
Honk indeed. And it is surprisingly a nice day out there, though the wind is up for sure.
Yeah, before we get into it though, Jomez has a little bit of a sponsorship this week. Hold My Bag just launched the biggest fantasy disc golf game on the market. There are free and paid contests, and you'll be competing for huge prizes or cash at each event. Sign up before the next event at holdmybagdg.com. That's holdmybagdg.com. Check them out. Thanks for their sponsorship this week as well. Like Erika said, wind, whipping.
Yeah, whipping strong.
It was
fast.
And cold wind.
Arctic wind.
Thankfully, we did have some nice, bright, sunshiny conditions. We're watching Paige Pierce, Missy Gannon, Hanna Huynh, and Rebecca Cox today. Y'all heard that with our little fancy introductions.
The fanciest, as we do.
As we do. Let's get right into it. Hole 1. Kind of a tester little gap for a starter. It's 285 feet, so it's a short hole, but it's a blind hole, and this gap is only about 10 feet across. You got to throw something on hyzer through the gap that you trust is going to finish left every time. We had a right to left / tailwind with the angle from tee to basket. It's easy to go out of bounds deep with these type of winds, though, so you got to throw something slower.
Open, she's won everything. 2-time winner of the European Open, the PDGA Champions Cup, 4-time U.S. Women's National Champion, and she's the 5-time World Champion, and at 5 under par, she's your leader. From Pensacola, Florida, Paige Pierce.
I love a she's won everything as the intro.
Yeah, they always do the long intros on Sundays.
Mine's pretty short.
She makes hot soups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he talked about. It was weird. Paige gonna leave herself about 50 feet.
Champions Cup, the European Disc Golf Festival, 3-time Pro Tour champion, and she is your reigning United States Women's Disc Golf Champion from Beacon, New York, Missy Gannon.
Now, Missy keeping it in the fairway 83% of the time. That's difficult out here on this wooded track, and some really decent putting and a lot of chances from circle 2.
While she did go a little bit on the safer side yesterday, it's still hard to keep him in the fairway even if you're throwing a softer shot. So she's just super clean this week, and this course keeps you honest.
That was a pretty honest shot right there.
Top 10 at Waco and the Champions Cup. She's the reigning champion of the Mid-America Open from Spokane, Washington, Hanna Huynh.
So happy to have a regional Washington player on lead card on Championship Sunday, and Hanna deserves it. She has been putting together some really great rounds this year.
Hanna swinging this one out. Oh, a little too wide, but she gets the jump over the wall and a great roll.
100,000 in career winnings, 42 victories, and she's consistent. Only missed the cash once in 2 years of elite competition. From Cincinnati, Ohio, Rebecca Cox.
Do you think it's valuable for her to think about that one time she missed it right now? That's an insane stat. And that's a great looking line. Just needs
Oh my
ground play.
gosh.
Wow, really bouncing around over there.
Yeah, look at those flags whipping. This green was incredibly windy.
Paige dealing with a strong left to right wind from this direction. Look at this floaty bit.
Almost a carbon copy of yesterday's hole one for Paige.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting today because the front nine, which has been playing easier, has all of the open holes, whereas the back nine is completely in the woods and more guarded. So could be a very different day statistically. Rebecca going to come up short on her birdie bid. I'm astounded, honestly, that we haven't seen better than a 3 down, though. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we got to see it.
Missy gonna start her day off with a birdie.
She looks all business walking up to that.
She sure does.
Hanna locked in for her birdie as well.
35% of the field birdieing this hole. We talk about cuts a lot, but there are no cuts this weekend. This 3-day event, and with no weather delays, which is nice, we have the full field playing all 3 days. Yay.
Oh boy. And a bit of a walk with
This
pretty
rowdy crew.
Yeah, pretty motley. Pretty big gallery out there.
I heard Washington was going to come out in full force, its first Elite Series in the state, and everyone is so excited about it. They have a huge disc golf community way up here in the northwest corner of the U.S.
I know at least one cool thing happened because there was some kind of roar out there.
Yes, there was.
Yeah. Hole 2, a short par 5 at 660 feet. You got OB on the right side. You got Hazard on the left. You want to land lined up to this gap on the right. I think the way to do that is kind of push the OB line off the tee. And then second shot, it's eagleable if you really pipe something nice and straight to this a little bit guarded green.
Guarded by that deer.
Yeah, that deer is not having any of it. This one is one where if you don't birdie it, you're very disappointed. It's probably the only hole that you really feel that way out here, and a bogey feels like a nightmare. Like,
Yeah.
Who am I?
Time to step back from this career.
Yeah, I'm actually ready to retire.
No, it is crazy how quickly it can happen on literally any hole. That's a wooded course for you, but even this one.
This was a, what, right to left wind?
Yeah.
Or
Left
tail.
to
It was
right.
just
Left to right
yeah,
tail.
Yeah, tail. Yep.
Yeah, it was occasionally some left to right gush. You can see that flag kind of blowing, and then generally mostly tail.
Hanna trying to keep this low.
The perfect spot is to be just a little more right of that. You do kind of have to hang it out over the OB or at least follow that line for a good long time. But it was scary today. If you show the underside of your disc, that wind was absolutely taking control. Paige trusting this overstable disc, hoping not to get too much ground play, and she's going to get the huge flare skip. There is a little alternate fairway on the left side. It's not quite as friendly, of course, but it is viable.
Rebecca really
Uh-oh.
pushing that OB, but that looks nice and stable.
Woo!
Woo! She says, oh my God.
That is potentially a little maybe pinched on the right side. Not a problem you see very often on this hole. Hanna looks like she's dancing a little bit. Oh, yeah.
That's a nice looking shot. Definitely fading a little bit to the left, but Oh, it's fine.
It's hard to get your disc to push as straight as you want here because that corner of trees on the right side of the fairway kind of forces you to throw a more hyzery line unless you're way more to the right of the fairway initially.
Missy working down the gap nicely. She's had kind of a like circle 2-ish look, but obstructed. This is the clearest look she's going to have for an eagle so far.
Yeah, she's really got that second shot dialed.
I don't know. She's kind of been in the shul, but
It's hard to even get that
it looks
far.
better today.
Yeah. I threw a shot today and I was like, I'm absolutely parked. And I was like 80 feet away in the left. So what she's doing is harder than it looks.
Oh, yeah. You think I'm actually being critical? You're crazy. It's so good.
Rebecca, unfortunately, a little bit of an early release. We'll see what she has to work with. Paige forced to straddle kind of backwards and work a sidearm. That has some good power on it. Rebecca with a bit of a tester, little approach here. Hyzer with some trees on the right side, pretty pinched.
Oh, yeah. That'll work just fine.
Yeah, we'll see if she can putt from that bush. There's a lot of unfriendly, very dense bushes out here on this course. Thankfully today, though, they're all dry.
That is very true.
Because usually you come out and you're like, looks like I just jumped in a swimming pool. Hannah's third. Looks like she's got a nice clear line.
And she's just going to pitch up nothing crazy. Simple little hyzer. Take your birdie. Come on, Missy. Hunt them eagles. Just one.
Just one.
Just one. You only need one.
I mean,
That's what the
honestly,
permit's good for.
Yeah, there's pretty much an excess of them out here in this area. Oh. Rebecca with a bit of a tester for her birdie.
Dang. She was definitely more in that bush than I thought.
Yeah,
That's
she
my
was
beat.
having to wrestle.
I'm sorry, everybody.
This plate is the easiest hole of the day, and I believe that's the third day in a row.
It is.
Over half the field birdieing. No eagles on this one today.
Dang, so we only saw...
One in day one.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think there'd be a little bit more, which is
Shout out Holland Hanley.
a really good reason to keep the hole.
Yeah.
It's not too easy.
It's not too easy.
Keep it. We love it.
And Holland had to make like a
Big putt.
45, 50 footer.
Yeah, absolutely. Checking in with the chase card. Whereas our lead card all chose to wear blue today, the chase card is all wearing red. So that is one of the major stories of the day. Owen throwing a forehand to an ideal spot here on hole 4. Oh, look at this little flexy backhand.
Oh, wow. Getting through all the trees.
Yeah, a little more turn than we often see from Owen's discs. Not quite as sharp of an angle. That's so well done. See all the red?
That's
Look at
so funny.
This one was semi-planned, but lead card was not. Big putt from Owen. Go Team Red. Please leave in the comments if you're Team Red or Team Blue. Missy and Hanna with perfect 2-for-2 start. Paige hanging on to her lead by 1 stroke only.
Here it is, hole 3. It's only 295 feet, but it is a tough little hole. It requires a very precise shot. Most people are taking the route that the drone is flying, and they're flexing something or hyzer flipping something to the right of this tree, crashing into the green. The elevated basket adds a little element of surprise here at the end. You see a lot of discs fading into circle's edge left or turning over a little too much into circle's edge right. So you see a lot of obstructed putts from the edge of circle 1 and 2.
That's pretty I don't want to call it sawed off, but it's definitely on the left side. It'll be a long look for Missy.
Hanna flipping that up nicely, pushing straight, and unfortunately catching a tree and dropping down at around 80 feet.
Paige gonna work the flip up that she's so good at. Oh, doesn't quite flip enough. And, I mean, it's not horrible over there, but birdie out of the picture.
Yeah, a quarter of the field birdieing this hole, and that's about what we've seen every other day. It's not a gimme hole, but it's one you're hoping to at least have a look.
Yeah, I feel like there's a good amount of circle twos. This is looking really great from
That's
Rebecca.
amazing. Oh, wow. Perfect speed, perfect angle.
Perfect follow flight with her fusion evidence. Yeah, I love this line. Kind of pushing towards that back wall. Just a hint of fade, a whisper, if you will.
Mm-hmm. If that basket was catching it, it wouldn't have hurt its hands. It was perfect slow speed coming in.
Just never thought of it like that. I really like it. Gentle.
Everyone else just going to pitch up. No need to mess around on... Oh, Missy's going to mess around.
She has a need to mess around.
She does.
Maybe she heard us talking about how she wasn't aggressive enough.
Oh, come on.
Ooh, what a good run. Great tap in birdie. Rebecca getting some green on her scorecard. Everyone else is going to tap out the old par.
Heading into our first really difficult hole of the day.
First of many. Love a little countdown. 6, 5, 4, 3.
Yes, we do. Here we are on hole 4.
Yes, we are together. It's a par 4, 535 feet. What do you have to do, Mad?
A big turning shot off the tee.
Or a sidearm.
Yeah, you could throw a forehand as well, but I like the turnover. Really bite off a lot of the first half of the fairway.
Yeah, and if you can, then it really sets you up for a little bit of a tunnel shot into a pretty guarded green. There is some OB on the left. It doesn't really come into play.
Yeah, this is one of those holes that you just have to play it as it lies. I mean, I guess that's every hole, but this one in particular, there are not a lot of options if you get pinched off of the center landing zone. You just kind of have to scramble your way to the basket.
I think we're going to have to change how we do hole previews because I really liked that. And that was a really good tee shot from Rebecca. She's going to be a little bit on that left side, but nice distance.
She's landed there yesterday, and I think it might almost be on purpose. There's a nice little hyzer chip shot over there.
She found something. Missy's been working this right side. She's actually a little bit more center cut than we've seen. What do we think Hannah's throwing?
I think a flippy fairway. She's good at fairways.
Oh, yeah, nice and flippy.
Oh, but it fades out nicely.
Yeah, well done from Hanna. Well, let's take a look, huh? Vortex from her.
Okay. Paige definitely going to hyzer flip something here. Probably try to go... You think she's trying to go huge, or is she going slow speed?
I think that looks kind of slower, actually.
Sure does.
Yeah, wow, look at that drift on there. Gorgeous shot.
A lot of times on this fairway, you end up with this exact thing. It's a drive you're happy with, and then you are pinched up on one of these large, they're not old growth, but they are secondary growth.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Missy throwing a nice little flexing forehand. She's going to have an easy par. Here's Paige with one of those awkward standstill shots that you end up with so often out here. Not quite getting around the corner. That bush is a red zone in our map.
Yeah. Our map of heat.
Our heat map.
Yes.
Yes.
Our warmth radar. Hanna gonna find the same warm spot as Paige.
God.
I dislike this bit, actually.
We'll move on from this one. Rebecca with a really nice sizer.
Oh, a little tree kiss.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
little bullseye.
There's got to be something over there.
There's gotta be.
I never quite checked out that far left. I was a little worried about the OB because it does come up quick.
Yeah, she's definitely challenging it to land there. Missy just gonna pitch up. Ooh, Paige from a knee. Gonna throw a little touchy forehand.
Honestly, lucky to have a look because that bush you can be so deep in there and you have nothing. You just have to throw it at the ground. So really fortunate to have that little straddle sidearm.
Hanna too.
Yeah.
Wide open.
And both really well executed.
Sounds like you're well acquainted with this bush.
I've been there before in years past enough, but I remembered it enough not to ever go near there again.
Paige getting the par. This is not really one you are drawing up for a guaranteed birdie. Kind of feels like a bonus.
Yeah, it's played in the top 5 most difficult holes the past couple of days. Today it's the 6th, but there were still only 4 birdies. The field just minimized bogeys on this one today.
Nice and clean. Probably happy to get out of that blustery, freezing wind.
Yeah, and this hole starts to feel easier the more and more you play that back 9.
That is true.
You're like, wow, this is actually a simple one.
Yeah. Great tap and birdie from Rebecca. She's going to tie it up with Hanna Huynh. Man, really tight scores.
Nice clean scorecard as well.
Hanna can send shooting the hot round so far, 4 down through 7, moving into a tie for 6th.
Hole 5 is another short par 3 on paper, but when you get out here, it's a tough shot. You got to make this Mando, of course, and you can either try to chop something early in this area and get lucky through those 2 huge guardian trees, or push something a little deeper than the drone is flying and get some ground play, hopefully skipping into the backside of the green. Errors are too straight or missing the Mando, of course. Also, you find a lot of discs hitting early trees after you make it through the gap, and then it can be kind of hard to get up and down at times for par.
It's also a pretty difficult drop zone if you miss that mandatory.
It's the hole that they play on their regular layout.
Oh, okay. All right. Rebecca gets all the way through. She's going to be somewhere deep in circle 2, it looks like. Missy taking her deep breath, focusing.
Wow, she's been throwing this one way straighter. This one gets nice and lucky through the middle, but
You kind of, I don't know.
you gotta have to.
Yeah, it's a way to do it. Let's follow it.
Yeah, let's watch it. We can say for sure whether it's lucky. No.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Yeah. I changed my mind, yes.
Oh my.
I'm just kidding. No. Because the trees are so big, and because they left so many of them standing, which is great. Obviously, we don't want to cut down trees. A lot of the second shots or these types of par 3s, you do have to get through some big guardian trees to get to the green. It's a pretty common theme on this course.
Yeah, just hit the first gap and choose the most open looking line is definitely what we're doing out here. Rebecca gets through nicely. Paige squeaks and keeps squeaking.
Yeah. I thought she was trying to go a little bit of the early line, but that one was pushing straight the whole way.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca has a huge tree in the way. Tries to swing one in.
Yeah, good effort. Those secondary trees, am I right?
Yeah. Ooh! A little airplane wing follow through.
Great putt from Hanna. Give her the slow mez. Give us the wing. That was sweet.
Bringing Hanna to 3 under par on the round, tied for the hot round on this course.
Yeah, man, that's so crazy.
Paige so close to converting that birdie putt.
It was a good putt over that bush.
Yeah, trying to do nose up and still push. Rebecca's in for par. The nice little recovery. There were only 8 birdies on hole 5. Tough one to get to, as are many of the par 3s out here.
Missy, I'm sure one of the few, if not the only one to park it.
We can tell you.
I mean, it's
One
pretty
of
probable.
2. One of 2 people.
Yeah, I'm right.
The other was Ella Hansen. Shout out.
Our lead card really keeping it clean. Everyone looking very locked in, making for some good golf. Hole 6, par 3, 345 feet. There is an OB line on the left. It was a strong right to left wind when I came through, so just hanging something out to the right and letting it hyzer. If you kind of go right at the basket and then skip, you're kind of bringing that OB into play. So I like the hanging it wide kind of a play.
The wind today forced you to hang it wide as well. If you tried to go more linear, even with a flex shot, the second your disc started to fade, the wind said, watch this, and just carried that thing so far left.
Yeah, this hole and the next hole, the wind was in charge.
And Missy, this is a little risky.
It works out for her, though.
Yeah, she keeps it nice and low, and it doesn't have a chance to catch any wind.
Let's give her another follow flight back to back. All right, Missy. We see you.
Oh, the wind's actually a little calm right now. That's nice.
Okay. Obviously, she threw thrashers on the last 2 holes. This one was an ESP swirl, Captain Thrasher. Hanna hanging it up a little bit higher, calling for it to get down. Yeah.
That's what a lot of discs did.
So much ground play.
We were joking on our card to throw it at the tower. You can't see it because it's right behind this big tree, but it's like definitely not in play at all. There's the tower.
I think that's, yeah.
Because we were watching them just careen left. Rebecca does a great job hanging it way out wide.
Yeah, very controlled shot. Paige hanging it out really wide, letting the wind carry. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, that looked like a big skip off the top. That was so close to an ace.
Thankfully, she is at basket high. She's far enough where she's past the OB, but hopefully that thing settled down.
Yeah, look at this big. Oh, wow, went through that tree too.
Oh
Ooh.
my gosh.
Huge skip. That's going to be a headwind putt.
Go, go. Oh my goodness.
Really powerful and clean looking squatting form though.
Man, I feel like that one needed to go in.
It was a really good bid considering, I mean, look at the wind.
I feel like the ball just lied twice. Hanna trusting her disc, but the wind taking control.
I was raised to believe that the ball don't lie. I'm so confused. Everything I knew is now a lie.
Yeah, it's really hard to watch, honestly.
Rebecca for her birdie. Ooh, very nose down. Little nervy.
Yeah, the wind definitely can get into your head a bit on the putting green, even on the shorties. Paige, unfortunately, going to walk away with a par here. Hanna, wow. Yeah, had some work left to
Ooh.
do on her par.
Really good conversion in that wind. Those 20-footers start to feel like 35-footers in that kind of wind.
They sure do. Rebecca now into a headwind. There we go. Missy, there we go. She is in the bullseye. One of only 4 people to birdie this hole today. One of only 2 people to park the hole. Shout out Kona Montgomery.
And this is to take the lead. 4 down through 6. Go Team Blue. Look at that. Missy sliding into the lead. Oh, baby. Here we go.
Yep. What a nice conversion. Hole 7 played so hard today. There's no line all the way down the left side. This Mando on the right is what you're really thinking about, especially if you're trying to get aggressive off the tee shot, which I'm sure a lot of players did not make that option. The left to right screaming wind out in this field made that kind of a silly decision. So a lot of players taking some off. I threw a mid off the tee today and just hoping to gamble on throwing a really great second shot. But this green is so well guarded. You see a ton of bids from circle 2 for birdie.
I think the forehand was even more appealing to get today for the kind of conservative play with that left to right wind as well. Missy keeping it nice and low on a turning backhand. She'll land in a decent spot. She can kind of attack from there.
Hanna attacking big time. Wow. Really trusting that disc. That's so good. She's so good at the force flex. Speaking of good at the force flex, here's Rebecca Cox being a genius.
Yeah, I think it's turning too much though. She doesn't miss the Mando, but she will be very pinched against it.
It's all black, so.
Paige working a hyzer flip, and unfortunately, as soon as she shows that underside, it is gone. It misses the Mando.
It's a touchy angle in the wind.
Rebecca gonna have to do similar to what she did yesterday, just kind of chip a forehand around the corner.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good angle. Really tight gap. Again, Rebecca, I swear, so good at making those little gaps look like they're nothing.
Missy not lined up like you would like to be with the gap, but she's good at these turning shots. She hit that tree yesterday and kicked left, but today makes the correction and slides into that circle 2 range.
And Hanna, after that stellar drive, lines herself up with the forehand. Ooh, she does have the forehand in the repertoire. She obviously leans more backhand, but she's definitely not satisfied with that effort, hitting a very early tree. Paige from the drop zone. It is a fair drop zone, but definitely not a gimme. And she gets to just outside the circle. Gonna have to earn that par save.
Hanna with a pretty awkward patent pending, and there's not a lot to work with here. You're just throwing and hoping, and unfortunately overturning that disc, and these strokes are going to stack up here on the 7th.
Rebecca just pitching up wide and to the right side. That's well done. Hanna with just a pitch up. It looks like going to be her anyone's first bogey of the round on the lead card here.
Missy with a long look for birdie, bringing her to 5 down.
This would be huge. It is huge.
She is just canning everything. The last 2 weeks, she's been unstoppable on the green.
Give her the slow mez. Man, that's a scary look from Missy. You know, like she's just so focused.
She's in charge here.
She is in
Now
charge.
that we're out of the wind, she's like, now I'm the boss.
Oh, look at this little gap. Paige hits the gap, but comes up just a bit low. Gonna be a bogey.
Two bogeys on this one. Not surprising. It played tough in the conditions today. There were only 4 birdies. It was the 3rd most difficult hole of the day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, Missy, 5 down through 7. The next best looks to be a 3 down through 10. That's crazy. Hole 8, par 3, 290 feet. You can go straight down the tunnel if you would like. There is kind of a sneaky right side gap, or if you throw the backhand, you can kind of flex something to the right. That's the good miss to make. This little curvy Dr. Seuss tree might have something to say if you lace the gap perfectly. It'll smack you down more often than not. There's a sidearm route that is viable as well. Missy has been lacing this thing every day.
This gap is so much tighter than it looks on film. I don't know. It makes it look like it's wide open, but it is so long. It really stretches out, and especially that final gap, so tough to hit. But Missy just making it look super easy.
Just good for it, day after day.
Day after day.
Man, clock in, clock out. Rebecca really pulling that over to the right, but it's clean. Again, that's the better mistake to make on the backhand than the left, and she'll have a long look. Hanna also going to try to work the center gap with a little flip up. That's great.
Paige loves these type of shots. Giving it a lot of height with the slower disc. It's going to fade to the right, but make it through everything. She'll have a long look on this elevated basket.
Everyone dancing.
It's a dance party. Rebecca showing off the splits. Oh my God.
Dang. She drops it like it's
That's
hot, you know?
That's a heartbreaker.
Paige from just inside the circle. Chain high, but right. Man, Paige, so close. This whole front 9, not quite stringing them together. Hanna unable to convert as well. Door open for Missy here to start pulling away.
This played as the 2nd easiest hole of the day, and it's a bummer to not walk away with a couple birdies on this one. Let's see if Missy can. Of course she can.
And she can walk away with a Pacific Loon as well.
Oh, yeah.
4 in a row. A rarity out here at Shelton.
I've only seen 3 of them, right, this week?
Yeah. I
That's
think
the
I've
3rd.
heard more distantly. Checking in with Team Red. Owen Scoggins on the 10th, working that backhand flex. This is an island hole, and not only does she make the island, she puts it in the bullseye. Give it to her. Owen in a tie for 2nd right now. Missy giving herself a little bit of a buffer. It looks like, yeah, Owen. Wow. Playing really well, 5 down through 10.
Hole 9, I would not be surprised if this played as the hardest hole of the weekend. Not really. It was just a ripping headwind, and this is already a challenging tee shot, but With this wind, it is just such a finite angle you have to release the disc on. The OB on the left side is what I'm worried about on the tee pad. The hazard on the right can come into play as well, but you really do have to crush it to get there. We don't see that many ladies finding it, but we have seen a couple of bomber drives. The problem here is that it's a headwind / a little bit right to left. As your disc is fading, the wind really is going to take advantage of the underside, and you just see discs get carried so far left. It doesn't have that reliable finish that you see from a flex shot or a gentle turn.
Look at this thing, just elevator. Just get bullied around there. This is great, though.
Yeah, really trusting that disc. And that is masterful. I watched so many discs just leak left.
Rebecca, one of the few to take this inside gap. It's not really going to work out for her today. She could maybe get to the pin with a big forehand and a lot of ground play, but I think she's looking at a par.
What would you say, like sustained 20, 25?
20, I
20?
think. Yeah. Yeah, I think 20. Hanna also going to take that right side.
But she's doing a good job, though, of keeping it nice and low. Definitely not trying to bite off as much as you would on a typical day.
Yeah, I think there were stronger gusts, though, obviously. Okay, why are they all doing this?
The wind was so bad for this left shot.
I know, but, like, it's just weird to see it.
Yeah. I thought about it today, too, because trying to throw a turnover in the woods. Oh,
What the heck?
where's she going?
This is the weirdest play. She's going... It's good. Wow. Okay.
It was?
Yeah. Yes, because it's to the right side of the hazard.
Can't wait to see Amanda there next year.
Honestly, I can't believe she went that way. That's insane.
Blew my mind. Is it like good enough for a birdie?
I mean, it's good enough for an easy par and I think a long birdie look. That is some wild creativity from Paige.
Oh no, Hanna airing this out a little bit.
She's going to find the hazard. Missy, after a phenomenal drive, going to trust the forehand. She can go straight at it, but more likely going to go out to the left and then rely on the disc to fade back. Yeah, look at this. How'd she even think of this? Like, it's not great, but it just seems like really risky. You know?
Yeah.
There's so many trees.
She must have found something over there in practice. Because I would never have even walked over there.
Yeah. Well, ribbon for the most interesting par goes to Paige Pierce. Congratulations. Rebecca just going to lay up for another par.
Hanna. Oh.
Wow.
Oh, man.
What a run from the hazard trying to save her par. Can Missy get 5 in a row? She's about almost 45 feet.
Rebecca, good for her par putt.
And par's going to be good on the 9th. Today, as Madison said, wildly windy and difficult out there. We're going to dip back into the woods, but let's kind of check in. Let's see what's happening because Chase Card is doing some stuff. Here's Raven Klein coming off a turkey on hole 11. She is so good. Wow, at this shot. That's a crush anytime you make the cameraman move. You know it's a good shot.
Nowhere really to back up from.
Own gonna choose the sidearm. Hole 11 is set up a lot like hole 4. You can either throw the backhand or the sidearm, and then you're left kind of with this tunnel.
This is a very long tunnel.
Own actually opting to go to the right side of the tunnel and definitely squeaking through.
I think we see a lot more players doing that.
I
There
mean-
must be a little extra space over there.
There is room for sure.
Ooh.
Wow. Raven,
Raven.
not known for her sidearm, but
That
that
was
works.
good.
difficult putt here over the bush. Wow.
Pretty.
We've not seen very many birdies on this one the whole weekend, and that's 4 in a row. Another Pacific Loon.
Yeah.
I wish I could do
Team
the call.
Red.
Team Red doing stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just pretending like there's nothing there, just walking straight through that foliage.
She phased it out of her mind in the putt and then forgot it existed in reality.
Just dropped right through there.
Missy, Gannon, and Owen Scoggins now tied for the hot round at 6 down. Owen in solo second. Paige, Pierce, Rebecca Cox gonna drop back. Wow, it is really a red and blue battle out there.
Yeah, they are mixing it up on the lead card and chase card.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more players shooting under par today. It's kind of surprising in the windy conditions, but I guess it was a relief to get into the woods. And you see a lot more players maybe taking advantage as they learn the course as the weekend goes on.
Yeah, we got 9 more holes. It's been an exciting battle so far. It's still anybody's game, even though Missy is kind of looking like it's her game.
Yeah, we're entering the hardest part of the course by a long shot. We have holes that average 2 strokes over par almost. So please come back and hang out with us on the back 9 of Championship Sunday here at the Cascade Challenge. Don't forget, like, subscribe, do all the things on YouTube, because we like you, and we're almost at 500K. And don't you want to be one of us?
Ding the bells if you want to be one of us.
One of us, 500,000 people.
We're strong together.
Okay, we'll see you later. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the 2 Hot Geese.
Honk.
Honk.
Watch your body and I